Hi, I'm Ashley, and this is going to be a different kind of video. I don't normally do vlog style, but you're in for a treat. I've got a vlog style video today, so I'd love for you to stick with me to the end so you can see behind the scenes at BJU Press. I would love to share with you all that I learned and was inspired by at this Foundations Summit and my takeaways from this trip. So come along with me. I want to share with you how I was inspired, and let's take a look behind the scenes at BJU Press. Okay, so you want to know why my face is all red? Well, I made it to security, and apparently I packed my really expensive conditioner, the entire container, and just threw it in my bag to bring with me. And the security didn't like that. And I was like, "You're not throwing that away. Don't throw that away." He's like, "Well, you can check your bag." And I was like, "You know what? My car is here in the parking lot. I'll just go put it in the parking lot and just not bring it with." So I had to leave security, run all the way back to my car in parking, and throw it in there, and then lock my car, and then run back to the parking lot and back. And got my heart rate up and everything. So now I'm just waiting for the plane, and I'm ready to go. And we're gonna get on the plane and head to Chicago first, and then on to South Carolina. First off, I loved getting to meet new people from around the country. It was really, really neat. There were people there like lawyers, homeschool association leaders. Hey! Teachers, homeschool moms, bloggers, and other influencers. Okay, we're gonna get my video. Just smile and walk in. All right, we're at our first session for the summit. This is a really cool room. There's mountains in the pictures over there. I like mountains. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna find a seat. I've got a couple friends here.
That would be helpful.
Say hi really quick.
Hi! How are you? How do I homeschool?
That's right.
Actually, no, it's how to homeschool. My website's how to homeschool. How complicated is that?
How to homeschool.
Yeah.
It's Leslie Richards.
With the homegrown preschooler.
Homegrown preschooler. She's amazing.
Yes.
I don't have any preschoolers anymore, but I know some
Oh,
of you
it's
guys
super
do.
fun.
You have preschoolers anymore? No. What's your youngest?
13 to 25.
Oh.
So I'm waiting for grandchildren so I can start all over.
Yeah, she needs some
So-
grandchildren.
Nobody yet, though.
Nobody. Hey guys, I have a new friend here that I wanted to introduce you to. This is Ashley. We're the Ashleys.
Team
here,
Ashley.
actually. And we have the same last initial too, which I think is fun. But anyway, she's a super sweetheart. She's from Grace and Grit, and she talks about homeschooling and all the things. She's got older kids than I do, so I follow her to learn about high school and middle school stuff.
Watch me make all the mistakes.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, she wanted to say hi. Hi, everybody.
Once those sketches are done, and the concept is kind of approved, we often do photo shoots.
Hearing from the head of the art and design department was one of my favorites. It was so neat to hear what goes into the process of putting together these curriculum, these books, these pictures, and these images that they make. They really do put a lot of care and thought into everything, and that really just blew my mind.
Educational content.
Okay.
I have to remember my names and acronyms. So this is where the books get started.
Make sure I'm not in everybody's shot.
With your tripod. Production design, Jen, you want to sit down there? Oh, wait, come here.
I loved getting to hear from some of the content creators for the textbooks, as well as see some of the artists in their element and to see the beautiful art that they make for these books. My daughter, I know especially, would love it because she loves art. This was so cool to show her.
So you may have heard, my name's Tom, by the way.
Hi, Tom.
I should introduce myself. You may have heard that we have 3 pillars here at the Press. We have educational technology, biblical worldview shaping, and academic insight. And we kind of say educational technology, we're here to support those other 2 pillars. So we're looking for ways that technology can help enhance our learning experiences and grow our biblical worldview shaping as we're going along here. So we kind of do that in a couple of different ways. The first big way is we work with the writers out here. So you were just out here, you saw all these writers that are experts in their areas. So they're experts in history, experts in science, right?
Then we got to tour the studio. This is where they film the distance learning online courses. This was so much fun. I love this because I've always been a fan of theater and videos and creating, as I do here on my channel. But it was really neat to see the art department and how they build the sets.
She also, that's her, I'm in the set piece, I'll be on the signpost, but she also wants to introduce like vocab words, so like tumbleweed. Yeah,
Tumbleweed.
It's tumbleweed. Russ made that as well.
Looks pretty authentic.
Yeah.
I can verify the authenticity.
Yeah.
It just depends. But for the higher grades, we have a stretch Canva. You can't really see it on my focus. It's similar to that. Because the older kids may not necessarily want this type of background to their class. But for the younger kids, we can talk about things like this. So, what we use this for is for voiceovers, for voice animation, for different types.
And it was fun to see where they film the voiceovers and the videos and meet some of the teachers that actually make these videos for kids all around the world.
Exploring how this all works. We also have a green screen that I forgot to mention, that we use for special effects.
So yes, we can have each course, of course, has a different set. I teach English 8 currently, so my set says English 8 behind me. And so that all gets set up for us behind the scenes before we even get started. We have a video specialist in the studio with us, and my video specialist is Melissa. I do not like seeing myself, but we do have to have the monitors on because we do intersperse with things like
Some of her, yeah, that looks really good.
Halakas are made using banana leaves.
Is it halakas?
I don't know. Let's look at
I don't know. I was just saying that.
We did get to tour the printing press, but I wasn't allowed to take a lot of video in there. But I just want to let you know it was fascinating, really neat to see the process of how a book goes from concept to being built to being printed and then bound and shipped out. So that was really fascinating to be able to see that part of the process at BJU Press. And then we all got to hear from some amazing speakers, some leaders and pioneers in the homeschool movement. I had never heard of Zan Tyler before. I don't know why I hadn't heard of her, but it was neat to hear her story and how she pioneered laws and making homeschool legal in her state. This was back in the 80s when homeschooling was not common, and it's a very different story for her than what we as homeschool moms are experiencing right now.
As a result of it, I mean, we could do stories and stories all day long of of actual sacrifice where people.
Rick Green was very fascinating, very charismatic, educating. I loved hearing about and our families on the Constitution and the founding fathers and how that worked, and it was just really good to hear from him. I was super inspired and want to check out some of his resources that he shared with us. We ended up getting a DVD series that he and his family made a few years ago when they visited Boston, and they got to actually experience what history was like and do more research. And there was a very hands-on living history experience that they had. I can't wait to watch it with our family and to discuss it and to learn more about the history of our country.
Comfortable, controversial things that unfold. The boogeyman that are you?
And then lastly, we heard from Dr. Brian Smith. He is the worldview expert, I would say, at BJU Press, and he had a huge passion for being careful with how there's been secularism happening in the schools, in the public schools, and he really encourages us to continue to homeschool in order to instill a biblical worldview in our kids. And it was really neat to hear the heart behind BJU Press, which I hadn't understood before, but their goal is to encourage a biblical worldview in every subject that you're teaching, that you're taking. And that really, I love that. That is a huge reason that I decided to homeschool, was in order to teach my kids from the Bible and to teach them a biblical worldview. So it was really neat hearing his heart and his excitement and passion for that in every textbook that they create, in every course that they create at BJU Press. We also got to meet some of the online teachers and hear from them. And I loved, like I said, meeting new friends at this event and meeting people from all over the country, or all over the world. Technically, one of my friends, Beck, was from Australia, and I got to meet the head of the Indiana Homeschoolers Association. She was a really neat person. All these people were really neat, and I'm so glad I got to meet. There was so much more than I met that I didn't get pictures with, but I got to have amazing conversations, hearing about what it's like in different parts of the country and our world for homeschooling families today. And that really was inspiring and definitely lit a fire under me to come home and love my family well and teach my kids and train my kids very well. So I did have a lot of fun, and as you can tell, I'm very much a people person. This was like such a fun trip. I came back exhausted but filled, both in heart and mind, and just energized, really. So, and it was kind of fun talking with the introverts there, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go home and crash. I'm like, yeah, you probably are. I ended up crashing too afterwards. For a couple days, kind of feeling, just traveling, kind of wears you out. But the being around the people was just very, very encouraging, and I will not forget this. And I am so excited to keep in contact with some of these people and have some amazing connections after this trip. So I'm so thankful for BJU Press for hosting this and inviting me to go on this. Like I said, I was so honored. I was like, why me? Why was I picked? Like I said, I was inspired, and they encouraged us to be influencers, especially Zan Tyler. She has a podcast that I've been listening to since I got back, so you might want to check her out. Oh, Rick Green has a podcast as well. That was so good. So good. Okay, but they encouraged us to be influencers where we're at, and to encourage people and point them to Jesus and point them to good homeschool educations, and to really return back to the family, to honor our family and serve our families, all for the glory of God. That was one of my biggest takeaways. And my other takeaway that I haven't mentioned yet was just how BJU Press wants to do everything with excellence. And I mean excellence. There's so many steps and processes that go into making each book that they do, and I can tell that they put a lot of heart into it. They put a lot of research into it, and there are certified teachers working on this. They make sure they have, there's a huge team that really goes into building this curriculum for Christian schools and homeschool families. So that was really neat to see. I hadn't really understood that before, and now I understand it just a bit more. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so glad you came along with me on my behind the scenes look at BJU Press, and I just want to say a huge thank you to BJU again for inviting me to go on this and giving me this opportunity. I'm so humbled, I'm so honored, and I'm glad I got to share it with you guys and share some of the people I got to meet. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids. I'm a former English teacher, and I'm a Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool mom, and I love sharing how to teach the Bible to your kids. So I want you to consider sticking around if you haven't yet, and please subscribe and like or share this video if you have friends who want to peek at the inside look at BJU. So if you've got any questions, please let me know in the comments. You can check out my other videos. I have a video here on how to teach the Bible to your kids, quiet time resources, or the Charlotte Mason view on biblical teaching. So you want to check those videos out if you would like more, and I will see you in the next one. Look at the water!